Today we scape the 375-gallon aquarium. Now mind you, I tried to remove all of the silicone from the acrylic. However, removing it was starting to scratch it, and there's like a residue, and once it gets wet and once I fill the tank up, I'll be able to remove this a little easier. I didn't even try to remove any of the algae or anything like that, because once the tank is wet and has been soaking for a little while, it's easier to remove, because if you don't know, acrylic absorbs water, expands a little bit and becomes a little softer. Things become easier to remove, easier to scratch as well. We're going with the big rock theory. The idea of, oh boy. I got the plumbing up and going as well, the lights installed. We'll go over that here shortly, but right now my main focus is, like, the most exciting thing is let's get some scaping supplies in here. Also, I'm going to probably upset a few of you with an idea that I had. I'm not going with the cryptocorin because I don't want aqua soil in here anymore. I'm going to try to keep the scape narrow. I probably should have practiced the scape beforehand, but I'm just going to wing it, because your first idea is always your best. We're still going with the Anubias. And when placing these big, round, kind of river rocks in, we just need them to be solid and natural looking. It doesn't have to be, well, like fancy or anything. Not that I've ever been fancy, but I do like me some rocks that seemingly look like they weathered together. We always start with the biggest and work your way down. Rock up with a little bit of a curve to it, so it makes sense to kind of almost curve it into that rock. This one's flat on this side, but kind of angled this way. The benefit of this scape is, even if, and not if, but when the Asian arowana freaks out, these are soft stones. He can hurt himself up here, and he'll try to get out at some point. I mean, it's been 10 years. He's going to get out soon. Now, I mentioned doing a peninsula, but it doesn't mean that the peninsula has to be like an oval shape. What that means is that it should take up roughly, I don't know how I'm going to get this one in. The area that you want. So right now it's kind of like zigzagging. That's about as far as I want to go, because I want to feed him here. I might go a little further back that way. This one has a bit of a flat bottom, so I might stand it up somewheres randomly, because in waterways there's no such thing as like a rock that has a flat edge unless the water created it. So I might do that. And then this one, no, which is symmetrical. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's nothing like putting rocks in the fish tank. People message me all the time. It's like, hey Joey, I think I'm gassing out. I don't know if I want to do fish keeping anymore. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do that. You know, people burn out. Look at that. They were meant to be. What should I do? My answer is always the same. Either stop keeping fish, because this is a luxury hobby at the end of the day, or start over, do something else. Yeah, I like that. Damn, I'm all over now. There's no better feeling than a new fish tank. See how things just easily come together? I need a little bit more like variation in height because I feel like back end, I don't want it to look like it's collapsing. Maybe I do. When we get to this point, the goal is, how random can I make this be? Rocks are so good at being rocks. Like as of right now, I love it. We still have more rocks to add though. I feel like the scape's like hooking over there. So I might need to do something. Something like that. Yeah. This seems empty over here. Damn. It's looking really good. We're just hiding a few connection points that don't look as natural as they could. That might be perfect. I love it. I like it a lot. And now we need to dust it with a substrate. And then plant it. Oh man, this actually does look really good. Let me see what it looks like over here. Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do, and my apologies, like I said, I got to remove all this algae and whatnot. I started to over here, and then I started scratching it. That will go away. I'm going to polish this. I'll fix this tank up. I mean, such a gorgeous aquarium, so massive and large. But now we're going to put in a natural substrate, just a dusting, nothing too thick because we're not growing plants in it. I don't want to have to deal with like maintenance. So any plants that I do add, and we're going to add a lot. Boy, do we add a lot. But these are all river stones from Salmon River. Guess where I live? Salmon River. It's a really big river. Salmon River, Nova Scotia. Google it, look it up, Street View, etc. But this is very, very cool. No matter which angle you get by, look, the arowana is going to pace. It's going to go all the way around it. This is perfect. I love it. And look, it's like there's so much character to it. It never comes down to how good of an aquascaper you are. It's always how much passion do you have. Well, I guess that will come last. That's excitement. But what fish do you want to keep, and what type of supplies do you have? And it just turns out that I have a ton of riverstone. Man, that looks good. I know it looks shallow, but that's the whole point, because the arowana swims in the top 40%. And the plants still have to come up. So the bottom 50% is going to be substrate, rocks, and plants. And then the top 40% is going to be the Asian arowana. The following 10%, he doesn't swim there. Let's add the substrate. The substrate in question, I've already showed you it. It's wet now because I rinsed it. And that's going to make it more difficult to add. But if we take a look, it's a mix of two different types of pool filtration sand. And usually you can just pour sand in, but because it's rinsed and got water in it, I gotta do it by individual pieces. Or individual additions. And then when we begin to fill it, I can adjust the levels of sand in here to where I want them to be. The arowana won't touch them at all. But as I fill this, we'll also be adding in the plants simultaneously. We gotta stay busy. All right, let's start to fill it. So as this fills, I don't mind filling my tanks up through a pump. I think that, like, if you got big tanks, you should always have like a pump attached anyway, especially if you don't have to do like substrate cleaning and whatnot, because we're going to drain the tank fast and then you can just pump the water back through it. However, in this situation, I need to get all of the substrate off of the rocks so that I can go in there and start evening out all of the substrate. Oh, that looks really good. Just a simple pile of rocks, right? Oh, damn! It's perfect. It's beautiful. Be a lot cooler if it didn't have algae and scratches, but once it fills with water, we'll get rid of them. Oh man, I like this like little alcove or whatever that would be called. And this rock sticking up. I love it. I love it. I know how mundane and how simple and how easy this is for everybody, but that's how easy it is to make an aquarium beautiful. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Trust me. I'm just looking at the rocks, and I'm looking at like this rock right here is peeking up the most, and in the foreground I'm seeing, but then I look back. Oh man, let's do plants. So the plants are coming from the Tropheus tank because they're getting a new aquarium as well, and I'm going to take all of their Anubias, and they got a ton of healthy Anubias, and I'm talking Anubias in sizes you've never seen before. Hopefully they'll allow me to take it. Well, they're just fish. I'm going to be able to take it. I'm way bigger than them. Not much bigger. Like, what are they? 5'8"? I'm like an inch taller. But like this thing right here, and some of them are attached to rocks already, but I did buy some glue just in case. Look at this. This plant was just sitting there. Now, I want you to be honest with me. It's even heavy. This plant, you saw me take it out of there, was just sitting in the water. Look at its rhizome. I've never felt something so big in my hand. I've never experienced an Anubias this big before. And look at the top, and that looks like it's like me. Oh, that leaf's dying. No, that's a new leaf. Man, Anubias is so cool. Look at this. Look at the size of this thing. So I'm going to take this and we're going to start putting it in here. I bought glue because it doesn't need a substrate. That's the beautiful thing about Anubias. It's like you can just jam it in places. I didn't expect it to get this big. And a lot of people wanted me to do cryptocorin, which is arguably my favorite plant at this point because, well, it does well here. But now that that's in there, well, you're having a change of heart, aren't you? Guys, I can't make this up. Look at the size of this thing. The last one was bigger. It just keeps growing on the rhizome. So the rhizome are like this little like rib structure, and then the plants come out of it. Technically, I can make probably 15, 20 plants out of this. Because look, there's 2 rhizomes. I'm not going to. Nope. Look at the size of this. And this wasn't glued or attached to anything. It was just growing in filth. Oh, man. I was thinking I'm going to have to glue these guys down, but I'm just going to use rocks to kind of like hold them in place. And over time, they're going to attach to the rocks. Oh, my. I can't. Another one, not attached to anything. But we kind of got to be careful where we put them. We don't want it to be too symmetrical. Oh man. We've got way more to go. I don't know if I'm going to take them all. That's why I love Anubias. Attach it to a rock, attach it to a piece of wood, stick it in a crevice. It's going to grow. Here, we're looking good now. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Maybe back there. Another incredible piece. I think this one's going to have to go near the front. I don't have as many crevices for straight down because Anubias like typically grows like this, but this one, because it was jammed in where it was, just grew straight out. Beautiful. How much do you think each one of these costs, by the way? Ridiculous. See what I'm talking about? See, this one's growing sideways. This is a good example of an Anubias gone wrong. See how this one's got bites out of its leaves? Energy from the plant trying to heal something it can't. So we'll have to rip off any leaf that's got those types of bites out of them. And then the plant itself can create new life. People are always going to say that fish don't eat Anubias. Yes, they do. Anubias are easy to keep. Kind of, sort of. It depends entirely on your water parameters and whatnot. But do they need a substrate? No. Do they like filth? Yes. Do they need like expensive high-end lights? No. The only thing that's going to be able to kill them is a couple of things. Some fish will eat them. Algae will kill them. But luckily, once they get established, they grow into these monster plants. Yeah, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Look at this. Just from this angle, right? And I know I keep showing you this, but this is how we walk in, right? So, oh yeah. Yeah. Let's fill this up. Let's get the filter running and let's get the fish in. I can't stop thinking about it. This is arguably the best Asian arowana aquarium I have ever set up, ever. Don't you think, bro? And here's why. It's not bare bottom, but it kind of is. I definitely think if you want to keep monster fish, you've got to go bare bottom. There's no 3D backgrounds in the tank that are rough and could potentially injure the Asian arowana. Yet we do have escape. We do not have a bunch of aqua soil in the tank that could potentially cause ammonia spikes or issues in the future for the arowana. However, we do have an enormous amount of plants, yet they're only occupying 50% of the tank. 40% of the tank? Yeah, probably 40% of the tank. And these guys are just going to get bigger and more beautiful and more lush. Yet, if he decides to crash around, because that's what Asian arowana do every once in a while, these are river stones. He's not going to get hurt on them. What an amazing aquarium. Plus, we're walking around him for the first time in his lifetime. You got to remember, I built this tank for my Asian arowana. Well, it was Buddy, and right around that time, I bought an ultimate blood red Asian arowana, and he's right over here. But this was built for Asian arowana. At that point, I did tiles in the tank, and I did tiles only 10, 12 years ago, something like that. It's so full circle, it's so rewarding, but I think this will be my last monster fish tank I ever do. And if I ever get back into monster fish, I might do rays again, but I'm never going to do the rays that you think. I've been thinking I might get rays again. We'll see. As soon as I put him in the aquarium, lids went on, and I added some bricks, because during the first few days is when he's probably going to stress and jump the most. However, given the layout of the tank, he seems to be absolutely enthralled with it. Plenty of space, and seems just happy to circle his aquascape. Few things we have to do still. Clean the acrylic because it's absolutely filthy. Get the remainder of that silicone off the panels and add in more circulation into the tank, directed at the Anubias, because if we look closely at it, we can kind of see that it's got some sediment on it, even though we got some new leaves already kind of starting. He did lose a couple of scales in the move, typical, but he's doing absolutely fantastic now. And obviously remove this algae. So a couple like tiny little things to do, but now with the tank going and the fish looking just absolutely gorgeous in it. I can't show you too much in the gallery because there's still so much going on, so I might have to end the video here shortly. The upside to this is the scape is just absolutely, it's perfect. I mean, look at that. You really can't get much better than that. There, adjust the camera settings, and now this is more so what it would look like in person. Just an absolute gorgeous red dragon swimming amongst his 375-gallon tank, 8 feet long, 3 feet front to back. He'll never outgrow this tank, and because of that, that's why I built it this size. He'll remain in here by himself forever. He can't be with other people, and he seems incredibly happy in this one. So this is where he'll stay. We do have the original tree above it, but that's going to make much more sense here shortly when I show you everything else. A couple pendant lights. And of course, filtration is up and running, looking beautiful, and functioning exactly as I needed it to. Obviously, the water is crystal clear. It doesn't look clear because we got that algae on this panel we got to remove. But one thing at a time. I'm going to spend a week not even touching the tank. I'm not even going to clean the smudges on the outside off, because one more thing to stress him out. And again, during the first week of adding him, that's when I'm going to stress out the most. But as you can see, he'll still come over and approach me. He hasn't eaten since I've added him. In fact, I didn't feed him for probably 2 weeks now, or upwards of 2 weeks. So he definitely needs some food here shortly. But he's in no risk of, being emaciated if you look at the sheer size of him. But I'm just obsessed with the layout of this. Again, got to clean the glass, whatever. Can't show you too much. If I move around too much, you guys are gonna start seeing too much. So that's it. This tank is absolutely phenomenal. It's the first tank in the big change. There's still like lots of things I'm going to do, but yeah, wait till you see what's next when we start making everything beautiful and building the aquariums into the gallery, if that makes any sense. And if you guys want to see any of that, you're not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you do, because what's about to come and what is happening right now is just absolutely incredibly phenomenal. Tell me this isn't gorgeous. Once I get these rocks off there, we'll be able to see him a little bit better as well. Like, obviously that's kind of blocking the light here and there, but I'd rather have an arowana with a sore head. Look, he even did jump. There's like a little piece kind of floating there. I'd rather have a little arowana with a sore head than an arowana with a dried out body on the floor. If you guys don't know, these guys jump. They just do. And he's what, 10 or 12 years old now that I've had him. And it's very rare that in the home aquarium that they'll get to not only this size but live this long. They always jump. So we'll see what happens. His fin's got to grow back a little bit more, but that has a lot to do with the small tank that he was in, and a bacterial infection bloomed. So treated him with salt. There's salt in this system right now, not a lot, like a tablespoon per 5 gallons, which is very, very more therapeutic than anything. And yeah, but this is beautiful. Now imagine all of this Anubias is going to grow in and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just going to basically eventually be all this Anubias, and then you're going to see the outside rounds of all of these stones. Yeah, I can't wait. Even 3 months from now, this tank's going to be 100% different. Anyways, I got so much left to do. And like I said, if you guys want to see any of that, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. I will see you in the next video. And what we do next blows your mind. Trust me.